Hey guys, alright, old blue cord here. Well, getting close to that big mileage milestone, and well, for me anyway. But wanted to do the oil valve cover gasket. I've had an oil leak, and gonna try to get as best I can in there. And you can see front of the motor, lots of oil leaking. So well, I was like, you know what? I'll just do a valve cover gasket. I went to the box of parts, and sure enough, I've had another gasket in there. So pretty easy to do. Obviously, if you've ever worked on Hondas, it's just three little tiny acorn nuts, which is always kind of strange. I always thought an acorn nut, but and then these three grommets that go right over the top of the stud. But yeah, so anyway, got kind of sitting here looking at stuff, and I thought, well, it's just weird that the Hondas just don't leak from the valve cover gasket usually. Yeah, I know your Chevy 350s and your Mustang, your 302 Mustang, they leak. I understand, I get that. But these type of cars, they really don't. I mean, the oil drain back holes are in the front, but and they do keep quite a bit of oil in the head. You can see it right there. They keep like the cam in an oil bath, basically. But yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just frustrating. So, and the main place that I noticed it leaked is right here. You can almost see fresh oil coming down. So I actually put fresh grommets on that valve cover gasket a while ago just to make sure I was getting enough pressure. And then I did cheat a little bit and put a washer under the acorn nut, and I actually torqued them like you're supposed to. It's like 10 foot-pounds, but it just been really running out of there, so kind of frustrating. Whatever. But yeah, I want to make sure, I'm not smelling like oil and everything else while I'm driving. So not easy job. I wasn't going to do a video of this because it's kind of stupid. Everybody knows how to change their valve cover. So I pulled the old valve cover gasket off, and there it is. And it's kind of hard. It's kind of gotten hard over time. I don't drive this car like I used to, but if you look at the thickness of this, and then you look at the thickness of the new one, it's visually different. And I thought, oh hell, there we go. So when you have acorn nuts like you do, you can't only torque them down so far before they stop on the stud. And that's why they use these kind of nuts, so people that don't care. So you tighten this acorn nut down, it's going to bottom out because you can't go over the threads, don't come out. So okay, so we'll take that back off. But obviously, so you can't souse them down. You can souse them down tight, but you can't go too far. So I got the famous calipers out, which y'all should have a pair of these. I'm going to try to do this while I'm filming, but obviously the visual was enough. It looked like it was 100 thousandths, and I've got, 383, but when I do the old gasket, I got 300. 297. So that just blows my mind. I never really thought about that. I'll guarantee you, I've always used Fel-Pro gaskets before. Now this one obviously is going to be old. There's a date on here someplace, but it just blows my mind that they made it. There's a difference in the gaskets, and that's got to be to the torque, because once I put this gasket on, it's going to be that much higher, 100 thousandths plus. And then when I torque, do my 10 foot-pound torque, I'm going to have quite a bit more pressure on there. So I've actually think I've changed this gasket twice now in a couple years, because the first one was leaking too. So it just goes to show you, really look at your parts. I'll do a follow-up video, obviously, when I put this gasket on, what's going on. I'm going to clean the front of the motor up pretty good because it's kind of grungy, so I can tell what's leaking and what's not. But that's just frustrating. I mean, something simple as a valve cover gasket, and I just don't believe that I tightened it down that much that I got 100 thousandths press that baby. Now it's kind of hard. It definitely feels, you know, its pliability is gone, and yeah, and then this one feels actually really nice, and this new one feels nice and rubbery, so nice and flexible. You can kind of tell, and it's old, but I had it in that box and everything. It's still got the white powder on it, so. But yeah, just I don't know. That's just frustrating, but. There's got to be something to it. Now, obviously, I've not kept all my old gaskets because I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy. I mean, I keep a lot of old stuff here. You know, there's old struts and a bunch of old rotors. I don't know why I'm keeping them, but yeah, I keep a bunch of old, you know, junky gaskets and stuff. But I just can't understand. I mean, I obviously never looked before, but I just happened to lay them up against each other, and I thought, oh, hell, that's a big difference right there, thickness-wise. So, yeah, kind of a fun one, but I'm going to put it back together. I did actually do something a little strange. Well, not really strange, but I broke the book out, and the torque for the head gasket bolts is 49 foot-pounds. So I went around and just checked them all. And obviously, they're fine. They're all at 49. I did put, on that one head bolt right there, I did actually put maybe 52 on it. I just gave it a little extra. But I don't believe this, obviously, that it's not leaking from the head. It's leaking from the valve cover gasket. But just to make sure, I've read a couple times that some guys have said that the head to motor might leak a little bit. And this motor's old. It's never been apart besides this valve cover. You know, I used to take it apart, and you got to last your valves on a Honda. They're solid, obviously. So, which is great. That's good, but I haven't lasted them a long time. They don't move much after 100,000. So, but yeah, just frustrating that something simple as that, and then, you know, just smoking and leaking oil all over things is just stupid. So, yeah, kind of frustrated at that. I really hope the gasket fixes it, obviously, but I think it'll certainly help. Now the motor's old. It's never been re-ringed, so there's some lack of pressure. You know, the rings keep negative pressure in the crankcase, and as the rings go bad, that doesn't happen. So there's some of that. I also got that aftermarket intake, and the hose that you see right there is not hooked back to the intake like it should, and that would help with negative pressure, especially at wide open throttle. So I've been meaning to fix that, and I think I will. I'll figure out a way. That intake filter shot, so it's time for a replacement. It's many years old, and it's K&N, but as you can see, yeah, it's had its day. So I should try to rig up a better intake with the right type of pressure, and that would help the PVC and everything else work a little bit better and keep a little negative pressure so seals aren't trying to push out oil and etc. But yeah, so yeah, trying to do a more in-depth video, but yeah, it's just very surprising to me. So I thought I wasn't going to do a video about changing the valve cover gasket. I thought it was kind of dumb, but that's something you just happen to sit here and like, oh damn, that's totally different. So okay, so yeah, and yeah, again, this is the Feld Pro, and obviously it's old. I had it in the box for a while, but I believe that looks like I got it at Advanced Auto Parts too by that sticker. Yeah, so anyway, all right, well, thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for looking, and getting ready to do the big 340. So I'm pretty excited about it, actually. Things get kind of tightened up on it. So we'll I'll go from there. Thanks a lot. Thanks for looking. Bye.